So we're back. Whitty Review, Tuesday, sort of, 8 p.m. Chateau de Mars Hill studio / network / Flow Rider studio. Who could say? Well, at least for me, I'm in Indianapolis, the left armpit of Indiana, unfortunately. Sad days, of course, but happy day today. Do you see what happened with the good old fashioned ratio? I mean, to be fair, this was Monday, and at 9:35, and we had a good old fashioned ratio, like not even a little bit of a ratio, but a massive ratio out into oblivion. I love this right here. Hoss Jeremiah says, interesting that in a short time on scene in Marion County, that Indie Reporter has outperformed Indie Politics org in accuracy, quality of content, and probably sobriety. Let's discuss it on Rob Kendall, Indie Spanglish. Well, I can tell you right now, Rob and Indie Spanglish will not discuss it. And everything else is kind of funny because then Abdul goes on here and says, quick context, Indie Politics and Abdul, at least 31,000 followers. Indie Reporter, 11,000. Haas Teverball, 96. Everyone can have opinions. Some just reach a few more people. Very interesting. That's the game you want to play, huh? All right, well, let's look at this then. First off, if you need followers to feel better for yourself, that's pathetic. Number two is, let's look at where those 31,000 followers are, because I didn't see them anywhere. Because we replied back, you should have been around since you've been around since 2009. Indie Reporter's been around for 2 years. You should have more followers for sure. Over 15 years around for less than what, a year and a half. Also, we don't bail on debates. That's the you know how he was supposed to debate Ireland, and then like a few days later, he's like, well, I got some other things going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Don't care. However, look at this. 112 likes. Even to the original tweet, 9 likes. That's it. Funny, right? Because not only did Indie Reporter get over triple-digit likes, Abdul couldn't even get over double-digit. Couldn't even find 10 people out of the 31,000 followers that he has to like it. Very funny, right? I know. Hey, you know what? And again, right here again, 30 likes compared to 3 likes. If that's the game you want to play, then that's the game you want to play. Whatever. I don't care. You know what? Indie Reporter's awesome. All the shitbag establishment people can go eat it. I don't care. Indie Reporter is for the people, not the establishment people. All right, well, let's move on, though. Speaking of establishment, so over in District 24, which is Mike Dilk's area, funny enough that he decided that he was not even going to come around for the proposal that's under his name. There is a low-income apartment complex that they are wanting to put. I think it's like Madison and County Line, somewhere over there. Not exactly sure, but go figure, it's TWG. TWG, who is a massive donor to Joey Hogsett. So the whole development cost, they're saying, is $41.7 million. And it's supposed to be for 60% of, annual median income or area median income, whatever it is, for 160 units. That means they're basically going to have a bunch of poor people around there over in a pretty red district. And I've said this once, and I've said it before, and I saw Jacob Stewart post about it too. How many times have I said, apartment people do not vote red. They do not vote right. They always vote for dog shit candidates. Democrats, what I'm trying to say. Why? Because all they want is free stuff. These are people, not all of them, but the vast majority of people in apartments do not care about trying to help themselves. They just want the help. That's it. And, sorry, apartment people, I would love to have my opinion swayed, but we all know that you vote left. I've seen the voter roll. Now, not to say that all house people vote right, but the obvious massive shift from people that own a home compared to people that are in an apartment is dramatic. So I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do with this whole thing, but it is going to be massive. The reason why I really would love to talk about this more because this is about the low income housing tax credit. So basically, the developer, if I got this right, maybe Johnny GOP can help me out in the comments too. Basically, is that the developer is getting help with money, and then in return, they're putting some of that money into the local area because that's what the kind of the lady was saying. Now there is a housing development off of Emerson and 465 where it is a massive scam, like absolute massive scam. I'm going to look into this more, and maybe I'll talk about it next week. Oh, because the reason why all these developers love this is because they will get a pilot. So in this particular pilot, let me show you real quick. Boom, here we go. All right. All right, I'm going to show you this right here. Baby. Come on, baby. There we go. What, did it eat both of them? I only need one. Okay, so the pilot, it'll start off at $72,000. Now, in the paperwork that they were showing, it was originally supposed to be $280,000, and then it gradually move up for the next 15 years. Yeah, for 15-year plan. Oh, come on. Here we go. What is going on here? Here we go. Yeah, right here. I don't know if you guys can't see that, but instead of paying $250,000 for the first year, they're going to pay $72,000. So overall, they're going to be saving $4.2 million. And in their argument, it's saying, hey, if we save $4.2 million, that means we could have low-income housing, which is just apartments, which really, if you're having that low-income housing, you're not exactly bringing around the best folk around in a red area, by the way. You're bringing in kind of its own blight, its own Cabrini Green, its own, I don't want to say scum, but definitely not I'd say the unclean. I'd say that's the perfect word, is the unclean people that you are attracting with this apartment complex. And guess what? Most of that stuff is like cancer-like. And what does cancer do? It spreads. That's right. It's never centralized. It keeps on going until it's eaten up everything, every valuable resource in the area. Basically, bacteria. I actually had ChatGPT just bring this up real quick because I wanted to make sure I was right about it. And and I was right. Payment increases 3% annually for 15-year term. So, of course, if this lady didn't have this thing, I could see what it all being. But it'll start off at $72,000 and then it'll end at $108,000 after when it hits 2043. And I'm sure by then it'll be a giant shithole. I would say within like a decade, it'll be completely wrecked. Local, and the reason why I don't like pilots, I used to be kind of on the fence with pilots, but when it comes to housing, I don't think you should, because what are you bringing in with housing? You're probably having these unclean people that have 5 different baby daddies. And where are the baby daddies at? They're not around, but the children are around, which means you have to have, they're probably going to go to school, which means that the school system, you'll get more of these kids that are probably from ratchet hoes, and then they have no control of them, and then they'll have to bring in more people for the school. Here's where I have the problem. If you're going to, you are not putting any of that extra money into the schools, and thankfully, Derek Cahill had actually asked about that. Because when you have you're going to do a pilot program for, say, a data center, because that was kind of the talk over in Franklin Township. And it's like, well, instead of paying property taxes, what if we have a pilot? And it was kind of like this workaround way in the backdoor area. That's not what I'm talking about. We're like, hey, we're going to give a bunch of money to Franklin Township Community Schools, right? That would be basically like a pilot in place of property taxes. But when you it makes way more sense to have a pilot for that than to say have a pilot for housing, because now you're expanding everything. You're going to have 162 units, I think is what it said, right? And so you figure at least 2 people to a unit, probably. Well, let's say You know, they're all going to be having like 4 baby daddies. So easily like probably like 3 or 400 people in that apartment complex, right? And it's going to be a mess. It's totally going to be a mess. I mean, rip any place in Marion County that's Republican right now, because it is totally over. All right, let's talk about this whole Ballard situation, because apparently I'm the only one that has enough common sense to understand what is going on. I also want to point out a lot of the hypocrisy in all of this. Let's start off from the beginning, all right? Everybody, this is way before my time, by the way, in Indianapolis. I didn't move to Indianapolis until 2019. I didn't move into central Indiana until 2011, and I was living in Johnson County at the time. So, everybody was after he left, after Ballard left, all the Republicans are like, hey, you know, Ballard was great for the city. Too bad he's still not there. Things could have been completely different. And I always had this like weird idea, like he was a liberal, to be honest with you. And I didn't really look into him because like it was already way past then. Who cares? I was trying to make like snide comments about crime, and when they were talking about, I was like, well, crime was much lower when he was around. It's like, well, if you look at like the time that he was in office, it was actually gradually going up. It's like there was no real stop. It just kept going up. And then when Hogshead took over, he just made it worse. He threw gasoline on top of the fire, especially for 2020. And I loved how everybody was talking about like a couple of weeks ago. It's like, we might have under 100 homicides. And then first weekend it gets warm. A security officer and an IMPD officer gets ran over by some coked up drunk over in downtown. And then there's a shooting like on Monument Circle last night. It's like, oh, what was that again? What was that again? We've been stuck in our homes for the last 3 months because we had crazy amount of snow and it's been crazy cold out. The first weekend that we're actually able to get out and unleash this cabin fever. What do? We got fights happening at the East Side bars. We got coked up drunks running people over. We got people getting shot and killed over on Monument Circle. And then just now I think there were 2 people shot over on, what was that? I saw Max Lewis post something about it. And I was like, we still have that. I was like, you guys have no idea. I love all this hopium that you have, but me being a pragmatic realist and living in shithole areas, like, I know where this goes, all right? I've said many times, I'm over here. A lot of you are down here. You guys can have your hope. I don't care. I will live in reality. With reality being said, one of the big things that I started looking into way early on with Ballard when I was like last year was this whole Blue Indy thing, because I think Blue Indy was about done with, right? By the time like I came around in 2019, like I never went downtown. I hate downtowns unless they're small. And I started looking into it because I was looking into Paul Mitchell, part of the Three Kings, which, by the way, nobody wants to talk about that anymore, do they? Well, I just want to bring this up real quick. This is when this whole Blue Indy Vision Fleet thing start getting questioned. This was April 29th of 2015 from the Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee. You're going to find yourself a baby face. I just want to play the first minute of a babyface Aaron Freeman.
Madam Chair, I'll say first that I find it beyond maddening, to me at least, that with all respect to Jeremiah, I'm once again confronted, as I was in January.
I've also watched this a couple of times. I do not know what is going on with this guy in the background.
My 5 years on the council. And I don't have the director of public safety here. I don't have the mayor chief of staff here. I don't have the police chief here. I don't have anybody, right? And we all know why that is. And, Counselor, to your question, it's because we're putting a square peg in a round hole, right? We've put the cart before the horse. We've entered into a contract that is for $74,074 per car.
Okay, by the way, that's 2015 numbers. I looked it up, the inflation. It's over $100,000 now.
right? And now we're trying to make this work, and it doesn't work. The men and women of IMPD, and I'm not trying to speak for the FOP president, he certainly can do that for himself, but we've got officers that are serving in administrative functions, no question, but that have other responsibilities like ERG.
Anyway, he keeps going on and on about the whole thing, which is fine. But I want to talk, and there's other clips that I can do, but I think it's this one.
$1 a car. We didn't have the audacity to call a local car dealer. So those are the things. Need some cars. We were their only client. These agents are a very good law firm. The other thing you get is the Indy Partnership, 111 Monument Circle, Suite 1800. And at the top of it is all of these agencies that rent space there. One of them is the Indy Partnership, which has something to do with, city government and that kind of thing. I just
hold on.
Suite 1800. I'll let it go.
No, keep going. Keep going.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
I yield my time to you, sir.
Yeah, I yield.
The registered agent.
There we go.
For Indy Vision funding is Clean Tech System Solutions Incorporated. So what do you do, right? You go to the Indiana Secretary of State website and you enter that. That's what I did. It took me 10 minutes this afternoon. Clean Tech Solutions, Inc. is at 111 Monument Circle, Suite 1800, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204. It is a for-profit corporation dated December 9th, 2009. I'll give you one guess, Counselor Simpson. What do you think 111
Well, anyway, they say that the one of the registered owners of that is Paul Mitchell. I'll clip it and put it on Twitter here in a little bit. However, no one wants to talk about that. We want to talk about the Three Kings, Paul Mitchell, but we don't want to talk about this that was attached to this whole Blue Indy Vision Fleet deal. I mean, and I heard from, I think somebody posted it earlier today, and they said, and they were asking questions. I think it was Abdul was interviewing Ballard, and I think he said, it's like, whatever questions you have about that is in the book. It's like, oh, okay. So everything that I was saying, like last week, I'm like, this whole thing is totally fake. And it just seems like he's trying to sell his book. I might actually be right. Listen, and then here's the thing. I heard other people. I heard Rob talking to Dan Elliott, which was actually a really good interview with Dan Elliott. Dan Elliott's a liberal. If you guys didn't know, he's a soft L liberal. And he was saying about, hey, what about the Republican Party going after Ballard, because that was like their golden boy for Indianapolis. And I've been saying it for a while. I'm like, dude, Ballard is basically Indianapolis Holcomb. He's a total liberal. And Elliott didn't really have an answer for it, but I would have an answer. And this would be my answer. It's like, well, I think he did. It was about teams. I think there's what, and I think you should expand on that, really. I'm saying, hey, guess what? When we have like our starting quarterback and he leaves and goes to another team, do you automatically still like, oh, I love that guy still, right? Even though he's not on my team anymore. Guess what? Or like, let's just say Tom Brady, for example. When the Patriots played the Buccaneers, who do you think they're cheering for? The Patriots. Not voting for Brady. This is a team sport. Democrats have had that figured out for a long time. It's like, no matter what Democrats do, they will never crap on their own. Republicans, definitely not, because Republicans overall are split-minded on what their ideologies are. I mean, they could do a little bit better at it. And then independents, and same thing with libertarians, and then independents are mostly left anyway. I swear, I think independents are going to be the new libertarians, because it seems like this new faction comes out. And remember, Ballard, the only reason why Ballard is going to be dramatically taking votes away, which I agree with Elliott on, that Republicans will be voting for Ballard, Democrats will not be voting for Ballard, is it's because of his name and his money. That's it. You have any other independent out there, you are not going to get the same traction as anybody else besides Ballard. And him saying like, and remember, glasses check. If you have clear frame glasses, you are probably a liberal. Hate to say it. Anybody that wears a vest, I'm keeping an eye on you. Probably a liberal. The glasses check for sure. If you wear shoes with those socks on, you're definitely a liberal. At a minimum, a GDP bro. You need to be deported. Also, I wanted to look at his FEC report because Raju and Ballard know each other they went to India together, and I have a picture of that. But here we go. Ballard, as far as I can tell, gave Raju $250, gave the Indiana Republican State Committee $250. Winred and Act Blue, both $50. Thought that was very interesting. Victoria Sparks gave money, and Friends of Todd Young gave $1,000. No shocker. All right. Also, the Gay for Cupcake stuff. When I'm talking about he's a liberal, it's like there was a bakery over across the street from the city county building. Ah, crap! Why can't I'm totally like blanking it out right now? A city market, and there was a bakery in there that it basically did not want to make gay cupcakes. So Ballard gets mad, and then he ordered an investigation because it's publicly owned. No Republican ever would say, oh, what, you didn't want to make gay cupcakes? That's it. You're getting an investigation done on you. What kind of Republican would ever think that is a good idea? And last I checked, too, I think he married somebody. Hold on, nothing I'm thinking about. I think he married a gay couple. I remember right? Didn't he? Might be wrong, but someone was telling me that Greg Ballard. Yeah, okay, here it is. Mayor Ballard welcomes gay straight couples to renew their vows. Yeah. Mayor Ballard renewed the wedding vows of couples, both gay and straight. Do you know any Republican that would ever do that? Because I don't know any Republicans, unless they're fake. Unless they're a rhino, and then they're like, oh, actually, I'm more of a moderate, And how did that whole moderate thing work out for Shreve? Is that Zach Adamson? Hold on. Oh, is that Zach Adamson right there? Because I know he was fat back then. Oh, maybe? Who could say? I don't care. Maybe he does. He does wear a bow tie. Maybe that was him. Maybe it was Christian Mossberg, huh? I don't know. Maybe it was just some other fat gay dude. Liberty for all who. I want to watch this. Let's play.
It's a divisive, unnecessary move to.
Oh, there's Zach Adamson. I knew it. Listen, I know. Okay.
Discrimination into our Constitution, and I think it's its final moment. So we're obviously very happy about that.
Well, I always said I'm not sure what the government interest is. So I mean, that's what I truly believe. So I was happy with the way that went down yesterday.
I look forward to a great joy.
The mayor's support did not go unrecognized by Frank Dennis and his partner Darren Chittick.
All right. Anyway. There you go for that. So, like I said, liberal. Independent. Libertarian, I guess. Republican? I don't think so. Democrat? Most likely. And remember, these are all the establishment types that just are not interested in, they're not interested in really helping the people. When you look at, oh boy, we had the Indianapolis utilities get sold over to Citizens Energy. We had the gay cupcake fiasco. We had the $32 million in Vision Fleet. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff once I start digging into more of it. But I was more interested in this. I do not understand how everybody will crap on Diego about India, but nobody will ask Ballard who paid for India with Raju. And I swear to God, I think Raju is like a handler or something. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me of what is going on here. Same thing with here. Raju right here. With Fabio, with Diego, with his wife, and then these two other Indians too. I don't understand what's going on with this whole thing. And then I saw Raju post a picture with Rokita and Jim Banks from last month, and it's like, I don't know what's going on. I swear to God, I think I'm just like by myself in all of this. Like, I'm the only based person in Indiana right now, and I hate it. I'm the only one that's willing to take on everybody, to take on all these establishment a-holes. And it's just so bloody annoying when you're like, you're the only one talking about the obvious stuff. Like, only real G's talk crap about everybody. These pundits that refuse to ask questions unless they're like emotionally challenged, it's like, I'm only going to talk about this because it makes me feel good, but not talking about the entire picture. It's so annoying. Like, hey, Ballard went to India too. What the hell was that all about? Was that about the link, the Infosys, that giant scam that I was telling you about with the H-1B workers? Are we going to talk about? Oh, actually, let's look that up real quick. Ballard Infosys. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, he traveled to Hyderabad. And here it is. You know that whole H-1B thing with Infosys? Ballard was part of that. He traveled to Hyderabad to build relationships and meet companies that might one day invest in the U.S. Ballard signed this. Yeah, Indianapolis signed with it. Carmel signed with it. And then he returned to India and met Infosys officials. That whole Raju Infosys thing, Greg Ballard was directly involved with, but nobody wants to talk about it because, it's not about Diego. Dude, it's okay to talk crap about everybody. Okay, this is why everybody loves Indie Reporter. We're calling everybody out. If we want a good candidate, and Greg Ballard is not that. If you had these pundits that would say, "Oh yeah, Ballard sucks because of blank, blank, blank," I wouldn't trust them. But you know what? I also don't trust Diego. Valid point. Hey, guess what? I also don't trust Bo Bai. He's an empty puppet that we know that he's just there to try and bring in the Bai name again and bring in Democrats back into control of Indiana. It's okay to call all the obvious out and not be emotionally challenged. It's by far annoying. And by the way, I mean every single pundit. I haven't seen anybody talk about this all around the state, by the way, all around the state. I don't understand it, like how I'm the only one that's able to see all of this. I'm just like the the aristocrats from Twilight, where I'm just like looking down at all you plebes and just like, how stupid are you to not understand what is going on? Like, Ballard's there to try and get Bo elected because he's a liberal. He's Indy Holcomb. Diego's a dope. Bai is there to try and get the Bai name back in office and try and have Democrats win more stuff. I hope Blythe Potter wins, to be honest with you. Because that would benefit all of us. That would get rid of all the Nepo babies that ever come in from the future. That would expose that the Democrat Party's been hijacked by lunatics. And by the way, if we don't like Diego, why are we not shilling for David Shelton? I've been saying that since day one, that I have been a pro-Shelton guy. He checks off all the boxes, but it's all about hating on Diego. From everybody, by the way. Everybody, for some reason, everybody doesn't like Shelton because he doesn't talk about paper ballots. Guess what? That is not even in the top 5 things that I am worried about in the state of Indiana is paper ballots. Let Montgomery County figure that stuff out and we'll go from there. I'm worried about, hey, maybe there is voter fraud going on and we got a guy that has found voter fraud. Try changing the law so we can make sure that if this happens again, we can catch it. Makes his own 3D printed parts to make things easier for the electric ebook, for the ebook. Yeah, polar book, electric poll book. Guy who's an actual clerk and all the clerks in the state like him. Isn't interested in traveling to other countries so he can benefit himself. I mean, doesn't make any sense at all. I told you, I keep telling you guys, like, I'm the only one that understands it. Problem is, too many stupid people that vote. That is the problem. That's why Indianapolis is the way that it is. Anyway, there it is right there. While we talk about InfoSivs. You know what? If I'm so tired right now, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just need a nap. Maybe I just need a nap and I'll feel better. Maybe I'm Grouchmer right now. I'll be Ragemer tomorrow. I'll be Grouchmer right now. Then we'll go with the other 4-letter word after that. It's on the following day. But that's kind of. Oh yeah, there is one more thing. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up. Hold on. I don't want you guys to see my my little things that I'm saving right now. Oh, you know what? Actually, I should put it on. I got a better idea. I need to put it on the Discord. That's my problem right now. I don't have it on the Discord. Hold on 1 second. Not my draft right now. It was about the Fun Township. Because right now, I don't know, I've talked about the Fun Township before. Where is it? Not friend. This. Okay. Crap is. Oh, there it is. Right, there we go. I haven't posted of January. A lot of crazy stuff going on back then. All right. Show up the Discord, baby. Boom. All right, so Lydia Wales is the. Hold on. All right, so Lydia Wales is the current trustee for the Fun Township, which is the Franklin, Union City, and Nineveh Township. And basically, it is 3 townships all together. I don't know the history behind it. That's the only thing that I don't know. I think she's the trustee, too. There we go. Franklin Township trustee. Her 3rd term as the... Yeah, here we go. Perfect. All right, so she's serving as her 3rd term as the Fun Township trustee and truly enjoys her job. So it sounds like she's been in there for quite some time. I don't care. But however, this is what I thought was interesting. She's also the director of membership engagement for the Indiana Township Association. It's basically like a nonprofit. I want to make sure I get this right. Township. I want to make sure I know exactly what to do. So I was trying to explain this to somebody yesterday. And what is there to provide services to Indiana townships and their employees so that they may better perform their jobs. Now, this is where I thought it was interesting. This part, it shows that she is a staff member. And normally when you are a staff member, you get paid. But according to her 990, she does not get paid, at least from the 2024 one. From government gov salaries, her Fun Township trustee job gets paid $52,000. They did rake in over $400,000 from program service revenue. They spent a bunch of money where it's negative $3,400, almost $3,500, and they spent it on the administration fund, conference, operating fund, miscellaneous, and all other expenses. But when you look at the salaries, it doesn't show that there's any salaries. Like, nobody's really getting paid. So I don't understand how you are an unpaid staffer for a nonprofit. I've actually never seen that before. But this might be one of the very first times I've seen it, unless you like own it. But when you have like large amounts of people in this nonprofit, like someone's gonna get paid, but it doesn't look like anybody gets paid. I thought it was really weird. So unless there's some like goofy stuff going on that I don't know about, yeah, it does seem very weird. To be honest with you, I gotta remember or put stuff back in this. Because oh, here we go. Ooh, is downtown Indy safe? Here we go. Good job, Rick Snyder. 2025 for fatal shootings and 242 non-fatal shootings. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Downtown are far better and safer. This is great. This is actually a really good point by whoever this guy is. Mickey something. Mickey Bitsko. Follows Indie Reporter. Let's go. Like for that. Allow gangs to rove the streets and bars. And this is not just like, you know, New Jack City gangs. These are also juvenile gangs too, which last summer there was a massive problem with that. Remember how they didn't want to extend off the curfew too? Turn into a police state, which there is a lot of talks about that. From what I'm like, there are very serious talks about Braun taking over downtown. And then just avoid downtown. There are far better and safer alternatives. And this is why the outside counties are doing so much better for now, anyway. Is because they're like, if I'm going to spend a lot of money going wherever, dealing with parking, dealing with homeless people, dealing with like crappy smells too, I'd rather have value for my dollar. I'll go to Hamilton County. I'll go to Hendricks County or Westfield. I'll go to Johnson County. Not much going on over there. I mean, basically, it's anywhere in Hamilton County, whether it's Noblesville, Fishers, or Westfield. Carmel's basically a shithole now. Still rich. But it's kind of over, you know? Houses are really expensive. Going out is really expensive. Doing anything is really expensive. Like and this has been going on since COVID. Like COVID wrecked everything. And you know, the best way to handle all this is to start deporting people. Start deporting people, start executing people. Listen, you know, it's not well liked by some of you guys, but it's the only way that it can be done. I hate to break it to you. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I'm looking up a bunch of Sid Mahant signs. Dude, like, it's almost like... Hold on. Let me show you guys this. This is right down the street from me. I can't see it right now. But there is a shop that is being built. That apparently it's called Speed Automotive. It was built by Scene Construction. Now, there's no trucking company that goes to that address, but the owner of the property of that business, there is a trucking company go to it. And the owner is in Plainfield, by the way. Terrible out of service rate, terrible driver out of service rate, and terrible vehicle out of service rate. And the truth is, like, if Sid Mahant wins the primary, expect he will probably try to lift a lot of the rules up in Indiana to probably get an Indiana CDL. He wants to lower the rules, which we already know that. He's going to try and get all the Indians into some kind of position of power to turn this place into a shithole. Like, go and look up India. It is very unclean over there. But I'll see him this month. Sure. Session's over. I don't have to do a show. It should be a whole lot of fun next time. By the way, there's like 5, 8 locations that I still have to look up. The problem is they all go into branches. It's like, oh, I found this one, but it goes over there. Oh, I found this one, it goes over there. Like, there's a hotel, like some 4-leaf clover hotel off of Washington, US 40. And the hotel itself, I don't know if it has a trucking business, but the owner of the hotel, his residential address does. Like, dude, everything is just a giant scam. I just don't understand why, though. Also in Plainfield, the trucking, the address for that trucking business is in over here. I just did a little area, and there are over 180 trucking businesses in this little area in Plainfield, between basically like 2 neighborhoods, two subdivisions, maybe 2 or 3 subdivisions. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what the play is exactly, but I saw Daniel mention, it's like, well, what happens when all their businesses start failing and then the lenders can't get their money back? What happens then? Nothing good, that's for sure. All right, I'm calling it early, though, because I have other things to do. I still have more research to do, and I'm tired. So you guys have a good night. Make sure you, as long as there's good people on the Mouthwash show, make sure you give them a watch. It should be a whole lot of fun, most likely. Make sure you talk about the sweet ratio that happened. I sure would love that. Make sure you go over there and like it, too. We need more likes on that. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. Do everything that I would do. Love you. Bye.